Hi everybody, welcome back. My name's Claire. The video I'm about to show you is a video of two halves. It's a painting that went wrong to start with. So I did a ribbon pour and I wanted to get some cells because there was some silicone in the paint. It was using some leftovers. I did the ribbon pour, torched it to get some cells. It just looked a mess. It didn't really work. So I was on the point of scraping it when I had an idea, and that was to use some of the more, so there was some more left over. So to layer up another cup and then do a straight pour on top of it. And the results absolutely blew me away. I was amazed. So this is you're going to see the process. A straight pour with lots of cells in it, but in very sort of specific places, not everywhere. So it ended up just looking really beautiful. So I'm really happy with this piece. So this is what happened. So here are the colours I'm using. So the leftover colours, I had the silver and the white, so they are totally left over from the previous pour. And then I had all of these three. So I had a pint, roughly a pint of this lovely bluey turquoisey colour. This one, so it was all the same colour, but I've added white to this one, I've added turquoise to this one, and I've added Prussian blue to this one. So it was all one pot, one colour, but then I've added three different colours to create these different tones. So the turquoise that I added to this one was this Montmartre turquoise. The blue here is Pebeo Studio Acrylics Prussian blue. And then the back one up there was some titanium white. So I'm also using Deco Art Bright Metallic, what colour is it? Amethyst in here. Then I've got some really deep purple, System 3 Acrylic Deep Violet. And then it was the Montmartre Silver and then the Amsterdam White. So they've all been mixed with PVA glue and water pouring medium, and I will put that recipe in the description of this video. In terms of the colours, the original colour here, I couldn't really tell you what was in here. What I will do is link the video or the painting video that created the scraped paint in this video. So if you want to watch that, that will tell you the exact colours that made the base of these. And then I've added these other colours. So let's get started. So I've just added a few drops of this into each cup, Spot On Treadmill Silicone. The fullest cup I added 5 drops, and then 4 drops, and then 3 drops to that little purple there. So this is going to be a ribbon pour. So I'm going to layer up this 1 cup here. This is the order I'm going to layer them in. I quite like to separate. So I've separated the turquoises. I've kept the purples together but separated them by white. So I should get some really beautiful tones, I think, of purple there. So the consistency is lovely. It's really quite thick, but very creamy. So it flows really nicely. So I'm just simply going to layer up the cup. Reasonably thick layers. Right, that is the most beautiful cup of paint. Absolutely beautiful colour scheme. That's every colour there on the surface. Absolutely beautiful. So as I said, this is a ribbon pour. I'm going to pour it on in ribbons, so going along the short distance of the canvas. I'm not worried about getting the edges at the moment, because the key thing I want to try and achieve with this is some movement within the lines. So I'm going to start the lines to be straight, but the idea is that that's quite a nice large puddle in the centre that I'm then going to be able to tilt out in different directions to get some movement in it. So it's going to then I will then deliberately tip it off over the edges. So let's go for it, see what happens. So I'm going to go cover the canvas, and then I'm going to go back again. So back and forwards. Oh. Right, I really like it, except for the fact that you don't see much of the dark purple or much of the white. The lighter purple and the turquoises have taken over massively. So what I'm thinking is I might just mix up a small cup with some of the other, the purple and the white, and just actually pour it over the top. And then I'm just going to pour this in, hopefully in quite small ribbons. It will come out quite large to start with. But if I can try and do it quite slowly. Right, that's much better, much more contrast now. So if this was a normal ribbon pour, what I would do now is pour just off one edge and then tip it back and then pour off the other edge. But this isn't, I don't want straight lines. So I've got relatively straight lines at the moment. But now what I want to do is get this whole thing moving and then see if I can get some curves. So to do that, I'm going to go off to one corner to get the edges covered. I've got a lot of paint on here, so I can really play around and try to get some curves into this. Right, I quite like that. So I've got some really pretty curves. Let's just get these corners. Right, now for the fun bit. So I'm going to torch. If I torched everywhere, this entire painting would get covered in cells now, because there's silicone in every colour here. But I don't want to do that. I'm going to torch in lines to create some cells, just in a few lines. So I'm actually a bit disappointed with these cells. I actually don't have that many cells. So I'm thinking I might change my plan here and actually torch it all. The cells just aren't really popping up. Maybe my paints are just too thick. They were thick. Right, I'm going to go for plan B, which is to torch more, because I actually want more cells than this. So I've decided I do not like this at all. I am not happy. I like the colours, but it's just a mess. Really don't like it. So what I have just done with all the rest of the cup, the paints, I've just layered up another cup. So I'm going to scrap the idea of a ribbon pour with some cells, because the cells just look a mess. I'm going to do just a straight pour on top. So I might get a few cells popping up. I might torch it, I might not, I don't know yet. But I've got a lovely base there. I'm just going to pour on top of it. So now I'm going to go for a straight pour. I think I am going to torch it. There's a lot of air bubbles. I'm just going to be careful to torch though, not too much. Just where I see the air bubbles. What I'm actually doing is torching where there's just some blocks of solid colour, because that would actually just break up that solid colour a bit. So some cells are appearing. Right, so much paint on here. Loads of this is going to come off now. So let's tilt it. So I'm going to just go off the edge straight away because there is so much paint. Wow, I actually love it. Who would have thought? I've done a straight pour in the past and I've had silicone in it and it looked an absolute mess. But this is really beautiful. The cells are really subtle and they have just stretched out so well. The best bit is that by torching, I've created that line of really dark purple cells, which just, I think, make it, because otherwise it would just look too pastel-y in there. Considering I think there was only one line of purple. So what I'm actually doing is now probably over torching, but I'm actually just creating a few little areas or lines of cells. So actually similar to what I was intending to do originally. So they're in little clusters, but they're with the line of the paint. So for example, the lines of the paint this way. So I'm doing some clusters of cells in that direction. I'm totally amazed. It's just so sort of peaceful and relaxing and tranquil somehow. If I show you close up, so you can see what I've done. I've torched in a band there, so got a nice band of cells, but obviously left that corner at exactly how it was. And just look at those colours and that shimmer. So I'm just trying to focus it. So what a lovely contrast, the straight or the curved lines next to the cells. Now look at these cells. So they are just very organic looking. So for silicone, they're very natural looking cells. And over here, they're just very, you know, with silicone cells, you often get such distinct shapes. But I think because they have stretched out a little bit, they're very natural looking. Look at that, it's stripy. Sparkly and stripy. And look, it's just the odd cell there that's popped up. Look, that one with the arc of white, it looks like a bubble. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. So this bit is the best, in my opinion, the best bit. I love this dark line of purple. As this dries, it will get darker. So that will be the focal point, that arc of purple. Wow, they just look like little pebbles in the centre. And then this bit's beautiful. It's just so pastel-y, so natural. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy that I did the straight pour on top. And here's the lines of cells I mentioned earlier. I would have let the painting dry if I hadn't have poured on top and tried to be happy with it. But actually, I probably would have embellished it or done something or poured over it again. But this, I'm really happy with. What an unusual painting. I didn't ever think that silicone in a straight pour could work. So I think the trick is to have thick paint so you don't get too many cells. Great, I'll be back when it's dry. So it's now dry. I've got lots to say about this piece. It's so interesting. So at first glance, it's quite neutral. There's not that much contrast. It's quite pale and quite pastel-y. And I wouldn't normally like that, but on this piece, I absolutely love it. What I love is you've got bright white here, you've got dark purple and the silver there. So I think composition-wise, it's definitely a sort of spiral in the centre here. But the composition, the cells and the straight pour ripples are just gorgeous. I mean, how 3D does that look? Does it look like water or pebbles? Or I'm not really sure what it looks like, but I love the fact that you've got these lines next to cells and you can see there the cells through the lines. So, and you can, oh, that looks really, really three-dimensional there. I just think that works so well. If you have just cells on a painting, I don't know, is that a bit boring? If you just have lines on a painting, maybe that's a bit boring. But somehow, to have achieved both, I just feel it works. I feel the balance works. I think I was quite close to it not working if I didn't get the cells in the right places or the composition quite right. But I think I might have pulled it off. And it's really quite iridescent as well. So you can really see that silver really shining there. So this is just with the pouring medium, the PVA pouring medium and the iridescent paint. So there's no varnish on this yet. It will be varnished, which will I think really add to it. But there you go, really, really happy. Let me know what you think. I'm used to very bright contrasting colours. These are contrasting, but they're not that bright. It's quite pastel-y. So please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of it. Great, thank you so much for watching. Bye.